The Perfect Neighbor tells the harrowing story of Ajike Owens and her neighbor, Susan Lorincz. The feud began on February 25, 2022, in Ocala, Florida, when 58-year-old Susan Lorincz called 911 on her neighbor, Ajike Owens, claiming she felt threatened. The police determined the conflict stemmed from Ajike's children walking their dog and playing on a vacant lot next to Lorincz's rented home, something the neighborhood kids had done for years. But Lorincz didn't like it. She complained that their shouting gave her headaches and insisted the land was private property. When Ajike asked her to stop taking photos of her children, photos Lorincz claimed were evidence of trespassing, Lorincz refused. Frustrated, Ajike grabbed a no trespassing sign from the same lot and tossed it toward her, hitting her legs. Police determined the injury was minor, and neighbors confirmed Ajike wasn't trying to hurt anyone, she just wanted the harassment to stop. The lot, as it turned out, didn't even belong to Lorincz. The actual owner knew the kids played there and didn't mind. But that didn't stop Lorincz. Between 2021 and 2023, she repeatedly called the Marion County Sheriff's Office, often making false accusations against her black neighbor's children. She reported them for screaming, accused them of tampering with her truck, and even claimed one of the boys tried to put their dog in the back of her pickup. Police investigations revealed that she'd actually been setting off her own truck alarm to back up her lies. And the dog she accused the kids of lifting? It was far too heavy for any child to carry. Neighbors said she'd often shout at the kids, curse at them, and even flash a gun to scare them off. Over time, her pattern became clear. She wasn't scared. She was hateful. Her behavior reeked of entitlement and racial hostility, like she believed her social privilege gave her the right to police the neighborhood. Then came the night that changed everything. On June 2, 2023, Ajike's sons, Isaac and Israel, went out to retrieve a forgotten tablet. Lorincz confronted them again, yelled, and threw one of their roller skates at them. When the boys ran home to tell their mom, Ajike, furious and protective, marched straight to Lorincz's front door. She banged twice, demanding that Lorincz come out to explain herself and return the missing tablet. Lorincz claimed she felt too threatened and believed Ajike would kill her. She picked up her handgun and fired a single shot through her locked front door, hitting Ajike in the chest. Ajike was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead, leaving her 4 children without a mother. The community was outraged. This wasn't an isolated tragedy. It was the violent end of a long trail of harassment and racial bias. Protests erupted across Florida, calling for justice and questioning how long Lorincz could hide behind the state's controversial Stand Your Ground law, a law that allows deadly force if you reasonably believe your life is in danger. But evidence quickly showed there was nothing reasonable about what she did. Lorincz's story kept changing. She first told investigators she'd invited the kids to call their mom, hoping to speak with an adult. Later, she denied ever saying that, claiming Ajike simply showed up to kill her. She even tried to fake distress, claiming there had been a 10-minute gap between her first 911 call about the altercation with the kids and her second reporting the shooting. Police records proved both calls happened less than 2 minutes apart. There was no fear, just rage. All she had to do was wait for the cops if she was that scared. Lorincz knew exactly what she was doing. She understood Florida's self-defense loophole, and she wanted to use it as a shield. Her racist language didn't help her case either. Witnesses testified that she used the N-word during previous confrontations, later claiming she thought it just meant dirty or intolerable. Her actions told a different story. At her trial, Lorincz's defense leaned on self-defense and trauma. They brought in a psychologist who said she suffered from PTSD due to childhood abuse. But the judge dismissed that argument, saying it couldn't excuse a 58-year-old woman shooting a mother through a locked door. In the end, the jury found Susan Lorincz guilty of manslaughter. She was sentenced to 25 years in prison, 5 years short of the maximum, largely because she had no prior criminal record. Even so, she showed no remorse, not a flicker. Today, Lorincz sits behind bars at the Homestead Correctional Facility, where she'll remain until she's over 80 years old. The Owens family still lives in Ocala, raising Ajike's children and fighting tirelessly for change, turning their grief into a movement against the Stand Your Ground law that failed their mother.